Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be working with the Sweet Sunday sketch number 291, and I love this sketch because it's so versatile. It's a very simple sketch, but it's very versatile. I have measurements here for my card base. It's going to be, well, the one I made is 4 1/4 by 11. The card base I'm going to be using in this sample, or in this video, is going to be 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, and we're going to score it to 4 1/4. Your mat, if you choose to use a mat, is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and your DSP or whatever pattern paper you want to use is 4 by 5 1/4. Then we're going to do this banner, and we're going to pop some fun elements on it. What I decided to play with, just fun, is one of my favorite stamp set. It's a super simple stamp set, but I love this Taco Fiesta, and it's really easy to fussy cut these elements out because they're simple lines. It's just really easy, and they have these fun faces, fun sentiments. So we're going to be making a card using this. And I will be using my blends. The colors that I've already colored some. So I'm using Old Olive, I'm using the Bronze and Ivory, or I have used those in some of my other samples, and then what we'll be coloring, the item we'll be coloring today on this video will be, I'll be using light cherry, or cherry cobbler, daffodil delight, granny apple green, and I'm going to use the light orchid oasis just to throw another fun color in there. So we won't need these for the coloring that I'm going to do in this video. And I'm using my punches. I'm using my 2 3/8 inch punch and this banner punch. I'm going to be using this side here. And then, so here is the sample card I made. And I just altered it a little bit from the sketch. I kind of used this idea to help create this card, and I thought this card turned out really fun. This is a previous DSP pack that Stampin' Up! Has. It's no longer available, but it's a fun pattern to use. And then I just colored these in with Old Olive, this with the ivory. And we're going to be working on this piece here, so that way you didn't have to watch me color and fussy cut a bunch of pieces. So what I have brought out is I decided to use some of our fun, I'm going to my Brights 6x6, and I'm using Daffodil Delight. I'm using the stripes side. I thought that would be kind of fun and festive. I'm using, I believe this is Orchid Oasis card base, and I'm going to mat this DSP on a white card base just to make it stand out and make it bright. And as you can see, I've already colored our elements there. This piece here, it's a 1/2 inch by 4 1/4, so I cut it the whole card base because we're going to be cutting a banner out of it with the punch. You can also hand cut the banner ends yourself if you don't have the punch, but I found that this fit exactly across the page the way I wanted it to. So we're going to need to stamp that. And then this piece here is Granny Apple Green. To go with that punch, I used the circles layering dies, and I used from the top section the second to the biggest to cut that out. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside for now because we need to do some stamping. So I need to stamp the piñata. Oh, and I did get a Stampin' Right marker. I got a black one. I wanted to try them, so I thought I would get this black one. And I'm going to use that to help stamp what I want, and I'm really liking it. So first we're going to stamp the piñata, and I'm going to stamp it in a way that will fit nicely in the circle punch so I can get it punched out the way I want it. So where's my basic black? Need to stamp this now. Oh, here it is. So I'm going to use my Memento black ink, and I'm going to stamp, get this inked up and stamp my piñata. Okay, there's that. And then I'm going to go ahead and stamp my sentiment. Holy guacamole, it's your birthday. Go ahead and stamp. Oh, no, I don't want to stamp that first. I want to banner cut this first. So we're going to go ahead and open this up. That way I can place my sentiment right where I want it. And then I'm just going to slide this in. Now I flip it around so I can see and make sure it's even and lined up where I want it. And just punch and you've got your banner end, and do the same thing on the other side. Okay, now we'll go ahead and stamp our sentiment. We don't need that punch anymore. Stand up so I can see over it, so I can line it up. Probably right about there looks good. We have a little bit more stamping to do, but we're going to go ahead and put some of this card together just so I don't lose any pieces here. Okay, so aside. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting some of this together. I'm going to go ahead and attach this piece to the white card base. This DSP is really, really fun. These, the dotted page would be a fun one too. I feel like the stamp set lends itself to have fun with all kinds of colors. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead, I already got my inside piece here, I'm going to go ahead and mount this on the card base. That's down, and then we're going to go ahead and put this, see, by cutting it at 4 1/4 and then putting your ends on it at this point, it fits totally across the page. Make sure it's lined up. And then we'll start attaching these little pieces, because I will lose them. Now I only need to do a portion of these because of where they're going to be sitting, because I'm going to kind of have them propped up. And I don't care if this back is attached or not. I need to refill some of my little containers. There we go. This one I just kind of want down there. Then we're going to do our chips. And then what the nice thing about these glue tips is if I need to get back behind, it's fairly easy to get that, so I can get those glued down. And the same with this back of this guacamole bowl here, because I left it open so I could get the chips down underneath. And then our little guy here. Okay, so most of our card is already assembled. Now we're going to work on this piece here. let's go ahead and, I'm not going to decorate the inside, so let's go ahead and attach that. So that's ready to go. That's attached. All right, so let's work on this piece here. So I'm going to do is I'm going to take my, now that I've stamped that, I'm going to take my horse, my piñata, and I'm going to kind of put it kind of where I want it, and then punch it out. And now a couple more stamped images. We're going to use the piñata candy here. Then I'm going to put some down here. And I think that's good. Okay, now it's time to color. So I'm going to do his nose and Daffodil Delight using the light one. I'm leaving my piñata white. Then we'll go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and take the dark granny apple green and color around his neck. And you can just dot your pen, it fills in the hole so that way it doesn't go over the lines. I'm going to take my, use my light cherry cobbler. I'm going to go ahead and get that fringe colored in. Okay. Then I'm going to take my granny apple, or my light Daffodil Delight, and I'm going to color in, start coloring in his little saddle. Coloring is very therapeutic for me. I'm going to color one of his tail pieces yellow as well. Okay, now we're going to go with the granny apple green, and I'm going to go with the light. Color the next layer. And then I'm going to color a tail. Now I'm going to bring in this Orchid Oasis color. It's the light Orchid Oasis. I'm going to color this in. Then I'm going to bring my red back in, my light cherry cobbler. Color that. And now we're going to color some candy pieces. And I'm going to do this last tail here. We'll do one in a light granny apple green. I'm going to do a darker daffodil. one last one, we'll do that one in red as well. Okay, all the coloring is done on that pin, on the horse. So now I'm just going to go ahead and attach it to the scallop circle. Okay, and then it is ready to be attached here. How fun is that card? And your card is done. Very simple card, just using some simple stamps and some coloring. And here is the other sample of the one that I made before. All right, I hope you get out some simple stamps and color and make some fun cards. This again is Sweet Sunday sketch number 291, and very versatile sketch. Definitely great for inspiration. Thank you for joining me, and I'll catch you on the next one.